the candidate and the leadership of the party at that time did not provide the enabling environment for Wike and some of us who were supporting him to work to ensure the victory of the party. Look, I have told you before that politics is all about interest. No permanent enemy, no permanent friend. So if I believe in something and it doesn't work, and there is some other belief that can also protect my interest, we work with it.
Okay.
This was denied.
Okay.
And we said no. Our original program and faith was that a Southern candidate should be produced. So
okay. So with due respect, all of this with what you said was Wike's agenda. Was Wike's plan B in a case he didn't win? Because your words, not mine. You said the party did not create an enabling environment for Wike. So it was not about the party's decision.
The party and the candidate. I say the party and the candidate.
And the party and the candidate did not create an enabling environment for Wike. So once that didn't happen, Wike's next agenda was to now go to a conversation on zoning that the party had concluded on to keep open, that Wike also agreed to before he entered the primaries. Because if Wike was not comfortable with it, he shouldn't have gone into the primaries, isn't it?
Let me tell you, Rufai, I hope that one day when you retire from what you're doing, you also join us in politics. And you also appreciate the fact that politics is about interests.
Okay.
Don't blame anybody. Because you must protect your interests. First, that is the first thing you must do.
Okay.
So what do you want Wike to do? What do you want me to do? Okay. Those of us who are supporting Wike and all that, what do you want us to do? When the leadership of the party at that time, which Vice President Atiku Abubakar brought over, what will you do when all those people who were supporting Atiku Abubakar wanted to put us as second-class citizens? If you are the one, what will you do? Okay. What will be your interest if Atiku becomes president? So that's the whole thing. So
if I was the one like Wike did, I would take two options. I would either use the Peter Obi option and go, or if I don't emerge, I would destroy the party. And probably that's why you people went on the bandwagon and worked against the party. But you see, a lot of people
Peter Obi was not PDP now. Me, I went for Peter Obi. Peter Obi was not PDP. But we agreed that for strategic partnership, let us do it in such a way that we will prove that we are also there. Okay. And we did it.
Okay. So
Wike went for Tinubu. Okay. I went for Peter Obi. And others went for whatever they wanted. Okay. We in the G5. And at the end, we have this government that is in place. Okay. So if God has given us a government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, why can't we support him?
Okay, I appreciate you.
That is what we stand for.
I appreciate you, sir. A lot of people, I've been getting a lot of messages from Benue. And they're saying, you talk about fairness so much. But why is it only the thief people that emerge most of the time for top leadership positions in Benue? And why can't you fight for fairness for other groups too in the States? That's what some people said to me.
Thank you very much. I have fought for that. And I have told other ethnic groups on what they need to do. I think that is the best I can do. I have told them, look, in Benue State, I agree with you that it is unfair for the Tiv people to be occupying governorship positions since the creation of Benue State. But the truth is that in politics too, you talk about majority of the people. The Tiv people have zone A and B. The Doma people have zone C. And as far as I'm concerned, I have told them, look, this thing, as long as we continue to argue, it will not work. What we need to do is to come into dialogue with the two ethnic groups, major ethnic groups. Because even if we go to Zone C, as I talk to you today, the Igede people who are from Zone C are complaining about marginalization. The Idoma are complaining about marginalization of the Tiv people against the Idoma people. So what they need to do is for us, the entire elite, the entire traditional council, all stakeholders should come together and agree that, look, let us find a way of solving this problem. And agree. Sir. Otherwise, if you today, as I talk to you, let me conclude. As I talk to you, if you give a governorship candidate in Zone C and you allow other party, whether a minority party, to give a governorship candidate in Zone A and B, there will be problem. So my take is that I believe in fairness, equity, and justice. And I have told all those who are concerned that, look, let us come together, discuss this thing, and agree. So that any contest that comes up, let us allow Zone C to produce gubernatorial candidate, and at the end of the day, whoever comes from there will be a candidate.
I'm so sorry to rush you.
Nothing against it.
I'm so sorry to rush you. We just want to conclude it just in one sentence. Now that Atiku Abubakar has left the PDP, do you now feel that there's an enabling environment for your interests to be served and for your candidate who you're supporting to finally be able to pursue his presidential ambition?
If anyone comes up at all, we can talk about that. But if anyone doesn't come up, we already have a Southern president. Why can't we allow things to work out? For some of us, we believe in Southern presidency. If at the end we have a candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the South, we can talk about it. But if we don't have,
but for now you can just endorse President Tinubu, right? For now you can just support President Tinubu.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Based on principle and what I believe, I did that simply because we had thought that PDP will stand for equity, fairness, and justice, which was what I believed. And unfortunately, they did not. Because I couldn't imagine that PDP, after 8 years of Northern presidency, we now say another 8 years or 4 years of another Northern presidency. We felt that it was wrong, because for us who believe in equity, fairness, and justice, especially the G5 at that time, believe that the presidency should go to the South. And when members of the PDP overwhelmingly accepted that the presidency should be in the North, we said no, it was wrong, because everyone knows here, for equity, fairness, and justice, we should allow presidency in the North for 8 years, and in the South it should go for 8 years. I've already made my position known. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to pretend, and I've made it very clear. That was why I worked against the PDP in 2023 election. And I did say that even if I lose my senatorial election after serving 8 years as governor, it doesn't matter. But let it be known that there are people who believe in justice, equity, and fairness.
But some people will quickly ask that as a party man true and true, most of the time, the decisions of whoever emerged from a political party, the truth has to be said, are the decisions of the party. And the man a lot of you followed on this journey, Mr. Wike, had said he was going to accept the decision of the party. And at some point, there was a possibility that he could even be a vice presidential candidate or a running mate. If all of this had happened, that he still got a stake on that ticket as a running mate, would it have softened anything? Was this about your principle or Mr. Wike's principle that all of you went with and you went against your party? What happens to the party discipline, as they say?
Rufai and the entire Arise family, I want to let you know that it is agreed for us as politicians, you are not one, but for us as politicians, we have always said that the interests, politics, the way it runs, whether you accept it or not, but the truth is that there is this greatest philosopher who says that politics is all about interests. No permanent enemy, no permanent friend. And everyone who is in politics is seeking about the interests of his community, is seeking about the interests of his people, is seeking about the interests of himself. Politics is selfish. And so, where your interest is not protected, you find something else. Yes, Wike is my friend. We work together until today and tomorrow. He still remains my friend. And if his interest was protected because we fought for him to be the candidate of the PDP in Nigeria, unfortunately he did not make it. We thought that he should be the running mate, and people drafted it. And I tell you, I was in the committee, 20-man committee that was made to design a running mate presidential candidate based on the candidate. And 16 of us accepted that it should be Wike. But somehow, the candidates and those that were in the leadership of the party decided to work against it. And so I tell you is that it's also about interest. But originally, what we wanted was that it should be a Southern candidate. And I'm glad that by the grace of God, it came out that a Southern candidate emerged as the president of this country. And we're happy that what we had proposed, it came to pass.
Okay, but quickly, because the Bible will have to take over now, and I'm so sorry. Somebody within your fold in the PDP, a top stakeholder, former stakeholder in the PDP said, but you were the chairman of the zoning committee that threw the primaries opened.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Somebody within your folk that used to be in the PDP, a top person in the PDP before.
Okay.
Can you hear? He said, but you were the chairman of the zoning committee that threw the primaries open, that now made Atiku emerge. And you were the chairman of the zoning committee. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I was the chairman of the zoning committee, but I couldn't overwhelm what the people wanted. And I reported back to the National Executive Committee that yes, this is the position of the committee. And somehow people felt that we should report back that it is impossible to talk about zoning in the north or zoning in the south. And so we should allow a free contest, because already before the committee went into work, people had already bought forms. Atiku bought his form, Wike bought forms, other people also bought. So the National Executive Committee was the final decision, because the committee that I chaired was just a subcommittee to recommend to the National Executive Committee, and it was decided that, well, let's go into a free contest, which was done. But everybody knew that after President Buhari's 8-year tenure, there was need for a Southern candidate to emerge. If they had accepted that, all those things we discussed in the National Executive Committee, I was there, and if they had accepted that the presidency should go to the South, maybe things would have been different for PDP, but it was rejected, and it was said that yes, let us go to it and allow a free contest, which was done.
Let me interject at this point, because you know the good thing about some of these developments is that they're well documented, and when you look at the documentation around it, it says that your committee, the committee you were chairman of, the zoning committee, gave a unanimous decision which gave the recommendation to NEC. So it says you all, so what was the purpose of you having a committee meeting, coming to a unanimous decision to throw the ticket open and giving a recommendation to NEC? If whatever the outcome of your committee was inconsequential, then what was the point of creating a committee to begin with? So that's my first question to you. The second question is, with all these developments, you know, Nyesom Wike has already pledged that he will work for President Tinubu to ensure that President Tinubu gets his votes. So who's even left in the PDP to vote for the PDP? How are you sure that the people left in the PDP are even interested in supporting the PDP moving forward?
My sister, thank you very much. I think you should be commending me for being a chairman of a party or a subcommittee that was to zone the position of presidency. because I demonstrated that truly I was a Democrat. Even if you're a chairman of a committee, you don't just go there and say that this must be done, that must be done, and so on. You allow the decision of the people that you chair to lead, and you coordinate it and make it work. That was the decision of the committee. So there is no point talking about Sammuel Ortom. Talk about the committee itself. If I had said, look, even though you have accepted that the presidency should be thrown open, but I say it should go to the South, you know what reaction the committee members will do and what report. But the day we came to NEC committee and I gave that report, nobody revolted because it was their decision. So I only coordinated. I was an ordinary member of the committee for the zoning committee. I didn't have the supreme power to decide that it must go here. So it was the decision of the zoning committee. So I want you to understand that that was what led to me presenting it. So the decision was NEC. It was NEC that set up that committee. It was NEC, the same NEC that decided that it has to be thrown open. And that was done. And at the end, that went on. The second issue you have raised, it is very clear. Wike is a minister of the Federal Capital Territory working with President Bola Tinubu. After all efforts to ensure that we had a southern candidate failed, Wike and some of us decided that, yes, it has to be a southern candidate. Even as I talk to you now, we met recently. We, as those who align with our friend Wike, and we say that, look, it's needless. If Buhari, with all the challenges that he had, made it 8 years, what stopped the South from making 8 years of presidency in this country? It will be unfair. And that is where we stand. And I can tell you that that is what I believe. Because we all know that it is in the unwritten constitution that presidency should be between North and South. 8 years in the North, 8 years in the South. How can you say that the South will have 4 years and then it goes back to the North? It doesn't make sense to me.
But why couldn't you influence that same thing within your own party? Why couldn't your own party agree on the same principle? If it's such an important principle, surely your party should...
I told you, you my sister, one thing that I think you're ignorant of is that I am not the party. I'm an individual. And I can make my proposal. I can suggest to the party. But if the party feels otherwise, it is their responsibility. It is no longer mine. So I am just an individual. And I made my proposal. I supported Southern candidate. The party said, well, let us allow a free contest. And that was done. And the result was what you saw. But even after that, we made efforts to see how we can mediate and solve the problem. But unfortunately, those who had control never listened to some of us. And that was what brought us to where we are. So we should accept what we have today as God's ordained. Remember, for me, as a child of God and somebody who believes as a student of the Bible that power belongs to God, he giveth it to whosoever he wills. Whatever you do, if God decides that it should be this person, the person will be there. You cannot stop the person. So okay. For me, I feel that God has designed that to happen.
Did you hear that from Sammuel Ortom, former governor of Benue State? Now, he said it. He said politics is selfish interest, is a personal interest. Politics is never for the interest of the people they are looking after. If your own interest has been satisfied, fine. Now, not be person when you eat belly food, not be they remember your neighbor. Now he will remember your neighbor. You never eat food. Now you won't remember your neighbor. Say neighbor, they hungry. Meanwhile, you yourself, you are hungry. That is how it is. There's no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. Politics is a personal interest. it is never for the interest of the people who even voted them, who've campaigned for them. No. It's when your interest has been met, your demands, before you think of say, okay, you now have enough to give others. That is how it works in Nigeria, but it shouldn't be so. Politics should be for the interest of everybody you are representing. Everybody should live fine. They should have the same thing should apply to all of them. As far as you are the leader of this team, this group, this community representing them, everybody should be given equal opportunities. But in Nigeria, it is not so. That's why you see this back and forth. They are fighting, they are this, they are that. Tomorrow you see some politicians today, they are fighting, they be enemies. Give them some time. The next time you see them eating on the same dining table on the same thing. So it is me and you who are not politicians that are fighting each other, abusing ourselves on social media. Because one way or the other, we are also fighting for our own personal interests. But me, it's for everybody. According to Buhari legacy, I am for everybody. I am for nobody. I am for everybody. Do you understand? So that is how it is. That's why now we now say, okay, these things have been like this over the years. Fighting this, that. Once their interest has been met, they don't think about others. They don't think about people who even voted them in. How do we do this? How do we make sure we change these narratives that whenever anybody comes into power, he's not only going to consider his own personal interests or his family, but he needs to carry everybody along. That's why we are now in search of that person who is a unifier, who is going to unify this country, who is going to bring peace and unity to the country, who is going to make life make equal opportunity, create equal opportunity for every one of us. Who is that person? Is the person we are looking at for now. Now, this current president, does he look like somebody who cares for the masses? No. Is he a unifier? No. He's not. Now, Sammuel Ortom said it. So we now need somebody who is going to change this trajectory, that henceforth is not going to be like this. Politics shouldn't be for my family alone. No. In fact, you can even sacrifice. You and your family can sacrifice for others. That's how it is. You show empathy. You should love, care, that you truly mean this. Some things are bound to happen, but once that thing happen, we need to see the level of your seriousness. How care are you? The way you care, you carry people along. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why in 2027, we don't have to make mistakes. We need to assess them. We need to see somebody who truly care about this country, who have the interest of this country at hand, not for his family, not just his family alone. So that's it. So if I ask you now, who do you think he deserves to be the president of this country? Who actually cares about the suffering, the hungry Nigerians? Who cares about this country? I think you know the answer by yourself. The only thing is, let's see how we can all come together to make sure they give this opportunity to this person to lead this country. Let's see how far he can deliver, what he can do. What do you think? Please share this video. And please, don't forget, now I'll be your guy. Run out for me. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you don't miss updates like this from me. You don't understand? I'll be your guy now. Subscribe and hit the notification button after subscribing so that you'll be the first person to get updates like this. Oh yeah, now subscribe.